The sirens wailed through the quiet streets of Willow Creek, a gated community where manicured lawns and pristine facades hid the brewing storm of entitlement. Karen Whitmore, the iron-fisted president of the HOA, stood at the center of the chaos, her designer heels clicking against the pavement as she waved a megaphone like a scepter. She'd locked the community gate, refusing entry to an ambulance racing to save 82-year-old Harold Grayson, who was clutching his chest inside his modest home. "No unauthorized vehicles," she bellowed, her voice dripping with disdain. "This is a private community, and I make the rules." Neighbors peeked from their windows, stunned, as paramedics pleaded with her to open the gate. Karen's smug grin only widened. She thrived on control, and today she'd make an example of anyone who dared defy her. The story of Karen's tyranny wasn't new. For years, she'd ruled Willow Creek with an HOA rulebook thicker than a phone directory, fining residents for minor infractions like unapproved mailbox colors or slightly overgrown hedges. Her emails, signed Karen Whitmore, HOA president, were infamous for their condescending tone, often ending with threats of liens or eviction. Harold, a retired schoolteacher with a heart condition, had been her favorite target. His faded lawn ornaments, a windmill, and a gnome drove Karen to fits of rage, and she'd slapped him with $500 in fines just last month. "This neighborhood isn't a trailer park," she'd sneered at him during a heated HOA meeting. Harold, soft-spoken and frail, had only nodded, too tired to argue. But that evening, as Harold's chest tightened and his breathing grew shallow, his neighbor, Maria Alvarez, a nurse, had called 911. The ambulance arrived within minutes, only to find the gate locked and Karen standing guard. "You didn't file a vehicle request form," she snapped at the paramedics, clutching her clipboard. Maria, who'd run out to meet the ambulance, begged Karen to reconsider. "He's dying, Karen. Open the gate." Karen rolled her eyes. "Rules are rules, Maria." Maybe Harold should have thought twice before defying HOA standards. The paramedics, desperate, radioed for police assistance, but every second felt like an eternity. Unbeknownst to Karen, a quiet hero was watching. Tim, a shy teenager who lived across the street, had been filming the scene with his phone from his bedroom window. Tim, who'd always kept to himself, was no stranger to Karen's wrath. She'd once fined his parents $200 for a basketball hoop left out overnight. His footage captured every moment. Karen's haughty laughter, the paramedics' frantic pleas, and the flashing ambulance lights casting eerie shadows on her designer jacket. Tim's hand shook as he uploaded the video to X, captioning it, "This is what our HOA president does while a man needs help." Within hours, the post went viral, sparking outrage across the internet. The truth began to unravel faster than Karen could spin it. The viral video caught the attention of local news, and reporters descended on Willow Creek. Neighbors, emboldened by the footage, started sharing their own stories of Karen's reign of terror. There was Mrs. Chun, who'd been fined $300 for planting roses without HOA approval, and Mr. Patel, who'd nearly lost his home over a $1,000 fine for a cracked driveway. Even more shocking was the revelation from Sarah, a former HOA treasurer who'd quit after Karen pressured her to misplace funds meant for community repairs. Sarah's testimony, posted anonymously on X, detailed how Karen had siphoned HOA dues into her personal account, using them for lavish vacations and a new car. The community, once cowed into silence, was now a chorus of fury. The confrontation came at the next HOA meeting, held in the community center under the glare of news cameras. Karen, undeterred, strode in wearing a tailored blazer, her chin held high. "This is all a misunderstanding," she declared, waving a manicured hand. "I was protecting our property values." But the crowd wasn't having it. Maria, clutching a photo of Harold, who was now stable in the hospital, stood up. "You almost killed him, Karen. You care more about your rules than human lives." The room erupted in shouts. Then Tim, trembling but resolute, connected his phone to the projector and played the video. Gasps filled the air as Karen's own words echoed. Maybe Harold should have thought twice. Her face paled, but she doubled down, shrieking, "That video is edited. You're all jealous of my authority." The twist came when Sarah, the former treasurer, stepped forward, no longer anonymous. She held up bank statements, her voice steady. "Karen, you stole $20,000 from our community funds. I have proof." The room fell silent, then exploded again. Karen's composure cracked, her eyes darting to the exits. She tried to flee, but police officers, alerted by Sarah's evidence, were already waiting. The crowd cheered as she was escorted out, her designer sunglasses slipping off her face. Tim's video, now viewed millions of times, had not only exposed her cruelty, but also her corruption. Karen's downfall was swift and brutal. The case went to court, where the judge, a no-nonsense woman named Clara Evans, watched Tim's footage in stunned silence. "This is not just negligence," she said, her voice icy. "This is malice." The evidence of Karen's embezzlement sealed her fate. She was ordered to repay the stolen funds, fined heavily, and sentenced to community service. The HOA, tainted by her leadership, was dissolved by court order, replaced by a new community council led by Maria and Sarah. Willow Creek's residents, free from Karen's tyranny, began repairing their neighborhood, both its lawns and its spirit. Harold, recovering in the hospital, received an outpouring of support, including a new windmill for his garden, courtesy of Tim's crowdfunding campaign. In the end, Karen's name became a cautionary tale, whispered in HOA meetings across the country. The community she'd ruled with an iron grip now thrived without her, proof that kindness and courage could outshine even the most polished facade. Harold, sitting on his porch with his gnome and windmill, smiled for the first time in months. "Sometimes," he told Maria, "it takes a kid with a phone to remind us what justice looks like." What do you think? Did Karen get what she deserved, or was the community too harsh? Share your thoughts on X and join the conversation about standing up to power.